Hello and welcome to the News Cache for your daily roundup of gaming news and myself, Marta. Today is the 15th of June and this time I'm bringing you some news from Nordic Games, Little Big Planet 3, codename S.T.E.A.M, and a rumour regarding the Cortana application. So we're starting off with Nordic Games, as they are planning to begin publishing games under the THQ trademark after securing the rights to the defunct publisher's logo and all the rest of it. And obviously they have purchased the rights to several THQ series as part of the bankruptcy proceedings, including Darksiders and MX vs ATV. Now, the general manager of Nordic Games, who goes by the name of Clemens Cruiser, and that's a pretty awesome name, good sir, said to Polygon that the deal for THQ's name was actually made separately to the games deals, basically. And he said, quote, "We have seen an uplift in the name of Nordic Games, and what we have also done is we have made a second deal with THQ where we bought the THQ trademark." Now, obviously a few people were surprised when Nordic acquired several of THQ's properties, as of course Nordic don't really have too much recognition of their own. And he continued by saying, quote, "The challenging fact is nobody has ever heard about Nordic Games before the THQ auction. There's so many articles with the headlines, 'Who the fuck is Nordic Games?' We said, okay, they were right." And of course, Nordic Games is a much smaller operation than THQ before they closed their doors. Now, it doesn't change the fan expectations for the Darksiders franchises and all the other franchises that they published. So the team is obviously going to need some more patience in terms of the fact that they are a smaller team. It might take them longer to get things done than THQ did, and obviously they're going to have a slightly different vision. But I think Nordic are, the series they have is in safe hands, and I think publishing under the THQ name might be a bit strange, or at least at first. I think it makes sense because people recognise the THQ brand. People don't really recognise the Nordic brand, or didn't recognise the Nordic brand before this. And if you don't keep up with all the gaming news, if you're just someone who buys games on occasion or just doesn't have the time to keep up with the gaming news, they might go, "Oh, THQ have released a new game, awesome," and then obviously they'll pick it up because they like THQ, whereas they might not have done so with Nordic Games. So it makes sense to me. Now moving on to Little Big Planet 3, as we have some news regarding it. As Stephen Fry will be returning as the narrator. So that should be happy news for anyone who is a fan of Little Big Planet, as many would argue that the game just wouldn't be the same without him. Unfortunately, there's no other news other than that, but I just thought you guys would like to know that Stephen Fry will be returning for the title. Now, next up is codename S.T.E.A.M, which is a new title from Nintendo, and they have revealed some extra details regarding the game, as it is actually being developed by Intelligent Systems. Now, they are the ones responsible for Advance Wars and Fire Emblem, so any fans of those series should be happy that you're going to be getting a new IP from those guys on the 3DS. Now, Intelligent Systems is describing S.T.E.A.M as a turn-based strategy game with action elements taken from FPS, and the setting is basically steampunk Victoriana, and you will command a motley of patriots who have been gathered together by America's president to tackle an alien invasion. The art style is heavily inspired by the Silver Age comic artists like Jack Kirby, and we'll even have speech bubbles and gradients and just have that very comic looking style. Now, the game is called codename S.T.E.A.M for a reason, as S.T.E.A.M is actually a fairly important mechanic within the title. Each of your heroes has a boiler strapped to his back, and the amount of steam that it produces dictates how far they can move around the map, which is based on a grid, and as well how many actions they can take in a turn. Now, actions will include Overwatch and the ability to stun enemies, and aside from combat, you will be able to pick up medals as you go along, which can be cashed in at save points to replenish steam or even health on the battlefield, but you can also save them up to buy better weapons. So it kind of depends on if you want short or long-term gain, or a mix of both. Now, characters will be having their own specific weapons, abilities and sub-weapons, so there will be an element of strategy in terms of which heroes you take into the battle. And then finally, someone asked, well, what does STEAM stand for? And the creative director Paul Prasashu, and please excuse me for butchering that name, said, hang on to your seats. Strike Team eliminating the alien menace. And yes, the sound you're hearing is the English language buckling under the weight of that pun. So definitely a tongue-in-cheek sense of humour, not only from the developers, but definitely in the game itself. I don't think anyone can accuse this game of being serious, even from judging from the early information that we have. So this game could actually be a lot of fun. I think we need a few more silly, fun games. Gaming has gotten far too serious with too many brown grimacing Marines running around. And while that's great and everything, I think a dose of fun, a dose of silliness is always good as well. And finally, the rumours regarding the Cortana app, which of course one of the most interesting features of the Windows Phone 8.1. Now obviously at the moment it is limited to the US, but there is rumblings that it will make its way to the UK and China in the coming months. Now the rumour is saying that the UK is next on the list, which does make sense and may in fact come sooner than we expect, possibly even by the end of this month. And, well, you're wondering, well, where's this information coming from? Well, it comes from Talderon, who is a WP Central Forum member who is claiming to be a Microsoft employee. But of course, there is no way to authenticate this, so this could be so much twaddle, but it's still worth reporting as a rumour. Now, he's also making a very interesting claim, as he said that the Cortana app will make its way to the Xbox One and Windows. And he said it will be made available for Windows 8.1 or higher, which does coincide with other rumours that said Cortana will be a part of Windows 9. And then he's also claims he'd been testing Cortana on his Xbox One while playing Halo. Now, to finish off, he then provided a list of changes for Cortana, which have also been reported by other users as well, which include enhanced sports and news cards, interest improvements, improved flight tracking, the Jen Taylor voice smoothing, which will make it less robotic, and lots of bug fixes. Interesting stuff. Now, as I said, this is a rumour at this time until we get comment from Microsoft. Do treat it as such. But I think it would be awesome for it not only to make its way to Windows 8 or higher, although at Windows 7, ask Windows 7 guys still want, stuff, guys, but probably not. I think it would be very welcome on the Xbox One, and of course, the Xbox is the home of Halo, so I think Cortana would be a very welcome sight on that particular platform. So guys, do let me know your thoughts and opinions on anything I've discussed here, but thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.